Well, at least they don't have Calvin Johnson this time. Week 5, bye week is over. Philadelphia Eagles back in action, and we're here to talk about it. Mike Owens is here. I'm Adrian. Thank you. Detroit Lions this Sunday. On paper, it looks like a huge mismatch.
Man, you're telling me that we had to wait around during that bye week to come back and play the stinking Lions. What a bummer, man. I want to get pumped up for another game like I was for that Steelers game. That was just so exciting and so thrilling. And, it made us all proud to be an Eagles fan after that victory. So, this is a week after a bye week. Obviously, we're all going to be pumped up because Eagles football is back. But, we would like to see it be a better opponent instead of it being the Lions. Like you said, on paper, the Eagles should come out and dominate this game. But, even though we have Carson Wentz as our quarterback, we have to remember that this is still the Philadelphia Eagles. And, these are usually games where they tend to lay down and play down to their opponent.
Yeah, and that's why this is so interesting, because on paper, they literally destroy them. I mean, they're last in passer rating allowed. They're one of the worst on third down defensively. They are last in yards per play. They don't have DeAndre Levy. They don't have Ziggy Ansah. Who the fuck is going to stop us on them? I don't know. It's on paper again. It's like it's a huge mismatch, but these are the type of games that we fucking lose.
Yeah, and you talk about Ansah, who probably won't play in this game. Eric Ebron, their tight end, he's another big playmaker for him. He's probably not going to play in this game. And then Calvin Johnson is retired now. So, you go back and you look at that Thanksgiving game from last season where the Lions just blew us out. And really the two guys that hurt us the most were Ansah, who 3.5 sacks in that game, Calvin Johnson, 3 touchdown catches. So, you don't have those two guys playing in this game. And, it really changes things. And especially with the way that the Eagles defense is playing right now, I just don't know how the Lions are going to be able to put up enough points in this game. You look at this Lions offense, if they can't beat the Bears at this point, it's going to be tough for them to beat a team like the Eagles.
Well, at least they are at home. I don't know who really scared. Like there's some players on that team that we might struggle against. The Eagles defense kind of struggles against like quick, shifty type of players, guys like a Theo Riddick. I'm not worried about him running the ball, but maybe lined up out wide, maybe catching the ball. That's what I'd be worried about with him. I'm curious to see what Golden Tate will do, because Golden Tate is a guy. He's like a quick and shifty receiver after the catch, but he hasn't really done much this season. Marvin Jones is their second leading receiver at the moment. Second leading receiver in the NFL. We'll see. Because, Golden Tate, Theo Riddick, these are players in the past that would give the Eagles defense troubles.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. But the way that the Eagles defensive line is playing right now, and the way that the cornerbacks really played in that game against the Steelers, and especially with the Eagles getting McKelvin back this week in the secondary, that'll be a lift. And I really can't see this Eagles defense struggling against the Lions offense. Obviously Stafford is he's a bigger guy, so the Eagles are going to have to make sure when they get to the quarterback that they tackle him. Roethlisberger presented some problems for us. We were able to get to him sometimes, but we couldn't bring him down. But fortunately, the secondary stepped up big time. So, yeah, we'll see. Stafford is always, that guy you got to be careful with, eluding the pressure and, making a throw on the run.
All right. Let's get back to our offense, their defense. Okay, so the passer rating thing. Free-falling Lions defense. So not only last in passer rating allowed, 120.2, last in passer rating allowed on third down, 139.2. That is insane. That's a huge number. Opponents are converting 47.06% of their third downs against the Lions, the second worst mark in the league. And, the Eagles are a team that are 12 of 40 on third down right now. 30%. That's 29th in the league. But the return of Zach Ertz Sunday, obviously coming back from the rib displacement, I think that'll really help out on those third down situations. He and Wentz seem to have a good rapport being built, especially in that week 1 game. Went to him a lot on third down. So the return of Ertz should be, lifting. And then also, it's the first time we're going to really see the 3 tight end sets, because first time Brett Selleck, Trey Burton, Zach Ertz, they've all been on the field at the same time healthy.
Yeah, well, I think really so far this season, the biggest surprise has been our offense. We knew coming into the season that our defense was probably going to be pretty solid. And even the defense has kind of really surpassed our expectations so far. But on, offense, we really didn't know what to expect, especially, with Wentz, being a rookie, we expected good things, but we didn't expect this type of play from him. And then you just, you look at our wide receivers. We were really worried about that position, that we weren't going to get the, great production. But right now, you even look at guys like BGB. He's kind of stepping up and taking on a bigger role in this offense as the weeks go along. Jordan Matthews is just being that guy 10 that Carson Wentz has really formed the connection with. And then you talk about now we actually get to play with that 3 tight end set that we wanted to start out the season with. And I think that having, Ertz and Burton both as receiving options in this type of offense, it's going to be a huge lift. So, the offense is definitely also a big part of, why we're 3-0 at this point, because I don't think any of us expected the Eagles to be, averaging over 30 points a game.
Yeah. Here's the thing about 3 tight end sets. There is nobody on Detroit that can cover it. Glover Quinn is like the only guy that can really cover it. That's it. DeAndre Levy is going to be out. You had 3 tight ends to account for. They're not going to be able to do it. I also don't think they're going to stop Jordan Matthews, because Darius Slay is their best cornerback, really, really good cornerback, top 10 quarterback even. But they don't have anybody else besides that. Nevin Lawson is their second corner. Quandre Diggs is their slot guy. Jordan Matthews is going to run all over him. So I think we should be able to move the ball through the air.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I'm so confident that we're going to be able to move the ball through the air that I ended up, picking up Carson Wentz on the waiver wire in one of my fantasy leagues. And
wow, he's still out there?
He was still out there in my one league. So I'm starting him, this Sunday against the Lions, because I just think it's a great matchup for him. And, we've seen what Carson Wentz can do with 1 week of preparation, but I can't imagine what he's going to do with 2 weeks of preparation for a Lions defense that is really struggling with injuries too.
It was funny. He was at the North Dakota State game last weekend, and he still brought his plays up there with him. His study of the playbook and the game plan.
Oh man, I'm sure even when he's going out hunting, he's probably got the playbook with him. He's got it everywhere, man. That guy has it in his pocket. He's on a date with his girlfriend. He brings it out. So that's what you got to love about Carson. The guy's always studying. He's a very bright guy, and that's when he gets up. When he gets up to the line of scrimmage, he knows what calls to make and what adjustments to make at the line.
Oh wow, you got a website going. I didn't even notice that until now. When did you get that?
I got this before I went to the Steelers game.
Ah, okay, gotcha. All right, so let's talk about Wentz a little bit further, because I got some nuggets. Let me see if I can find the nuggets. Your nuggets, presented by Trogs Nugget Nectar. Oh, I can't wait till that shit comes out. All right, so it's obviously been a breeze so far for Wentz. He hasn't really had to play from behind yet. And here's what I'm talking about. So only 13 of Wentz's 106 pass plays have come with the Eagles down on the scoreboard. He's had 73 while leading, 20 while tied. So I'm still trying to find out how he handles himself facing adversity. That time will come. I don't know if it's going to come Sunday. but that's still something that I need to see out of him.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's definitely something we need to see, but like you said, it could take some time before we see it. I mean, the Lions this week, possibly the Redskins in DC. We always struggle with them, it seems like. So maybe that's a game where we could.
We're gonna fucking lose. We're gonna lose that game.
We probably will. We always struggle against the Redskins there. So that could be a game that we could really see how Wentz plays when he's down. But I don't expect to see it in this game. But so far, I mean, it's hard to really say anything negative about Wentz. The guy is just he's really just taken the league by storm.
It's unbelievable. Oh my God. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before. In terms of the audibling at the line of scrimmage, being so smart out there. You just don't see it every day.
Yeah, and for me, the big play from Wentz, which is just another one of his wow moments of the season, was to start the second half against the Steelers when he scrambled to elude pressure, and then he makes it just a beautiful toss to Sproles, who makes people miss and scores a touchdown, 70-some yards. I mean, that's it. That type of play. I mean, not only was it amazing for Wentz to make that play, but it was the moment in the game too, where the Eagles, they were only up 10 points at that point. They really needed a touchdown to create separation and start the second half off right. And I mean, just watching that play over and over again, it's amazing that Wentz was able to make that play. But those are the type of things that can really change the momentum in the game. It really turned what was a tight game into a blowout.
Yeah, unbelievable play, man. And I've said this before. Any other quarterback takes off and runs on that. And Wentz had the presence of mind to keep his eyes downfield, flicks it up to Sproles, easy 73-yard touchdown. So that's that. All right, moving on to the running backs. Ryan Matthews has kind of been limited the last couple of weeks due to an ankle injury. They say that he's going to get a full-time starting role back once he's kind of healthy. So we'll see about that. I do think that kind of like the little trio and the little stable of backs that they have, they all kind of work well with each other because, Sproles is like the pass catcher. Wendell Smallwood is like that one-cut downhill runner. And then Barner, he's a guy that likes to kind of attack the boundaries and bounce it to the outside. So each one of these three brings something different to the table. So even without Ryan Matthews, I'm not like, whatever if he doesn't play.
Yeah, I think really the biggest surprise right now is Smallwood. That what he did in that Steelers game really kind of shocked me because I really didn't have high expectations for Smallwood this season. I really didn't think he would see that much playing time, but he's doing well. I mean, he's working it, and he's making up for his last name. He might have a small wood, but he knows how to work it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, right now, last week it was Smallwood, it was Barner and Sproles that had the best games. Ryan Matthews, he's kind of been like the odd man out here, and we're 3-0. We've really been using the rest of the running backs, but like you said, they all complement each other well. So I think that if we can continue to get this type of production from Smallwood, it's going to be a huge lift because then they can really rotate, all those backs in there, and they don't have to worry about just having, one or two guys carry the entire load.
Yeah, I'm Smallwood can do that. With him, he's not like overly flashy or anything. He's not going to make you miss on the second level or anything. But when you watch him run, he gets upfield very, very quickly. So he hits the hole, and he's got 5 yards before you know it. So that's kind of what you get from him. Obviously, the other thing that he can do, catch the ball out of the backfield. That's what he's really known for. So kind of being like that third down type of back. We've seen him line out wide in the preseason. So yeah, I've been very impressed by him. I think he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he was definitely a guy that I think me and you especially were a bit down on. I wasn't a fan of the pick, but after watching him against the Steelers, I'll give him credit. Obviously, it's one game. We've got to see him, do it over and over again. But, just judging him off that Steelers game, I thought he did, good job.
All right. Let's talk a little Matt Stafford, a little Jim Bob Cooter. Jim Bob Cooter, the best name in the NFL. I love it. All right, so Stafford, he excelled last year when Bob Cooter took over as the offensive coordinator, taking over for Joe Lombardi during the middle of the season. He threw 19 touchdowns and 2 interceptions during his final 8 games. So a lot more consistency in that simplistic offense of Bob Cooter's, but so far this season hasn't really translated. 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, so he hasn't been as good. But, yeah, I mean, I've never been a big Stafford guy, though. I don't know about you.
No, I'm not a big Stafford guy. I mean, how I look at Stafford is he's, an average to good quarterback. He can win you some games here and there, but he's not the type of quarterback that's going to be able to win games against, good to elite teams. So, yeah. I mean, what you're getting with Stafford, and you talk about his touchdown to interception ratio this season. I think that's where the Eagles can kind of take advantage in this game. I think that you can expect to get an interception or 2 from Stafford. So I think really the Eagles, if they can get to him, get some pressure in this game with their front 4, I think the cornerbacks and the safeties will be able to get some interceptions.
I think Fletcher Cox and Benny Logan should have themselves a field day. Travis Swanson, Larry Warford, Laken Tomlinson, those are your guys on the interior of the Detroit offensive line. Warford is a guy that had a promising start to his career, but he's kind of regressed since then. Swanson, Tomlinson, these guys aren't that good. So Cox and Logan, I mean, they really should benefit from this. Lions are 10th worst, I believe, which is in sacks allowed with 10. And then the Eagles have 10 sacks, which is 9th in the NFL. So I think they should be able to get to him.
Yeah, you would think so. Like you said, I mean, Cox and Logan having a great season so far, and even Brandon Graham having a great season, Vinny Curry, Connor Barwin's playing well. So everyone on that defensive line is really stepping up and playing well at this point. And then Jordan Hicks, he's showing that his rookie season was no fluke. Yeah. He's a great player, and it's great to have him as a middleman on our defense.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Lions have really, really struggled the ball since Amir Abdullah suffered a foot injury. It's likely ending in season. So they've basically, since he's been hurt, they've only tallied 106 yards on 41 carries. And 28 of those yards have been by 4 scrambles by Matt Stafford. So they're not running the ball well. They might have to rely a lot on Zach Zenner this Sunday because Dwayne Washington injured his ankle against the Bears. He's a rookie running back. Theo Riddick is probably their most talented back. I talked about him before, him being a pass catcher, but he's kind of like Sproles, right? So you're not going to really run him that much. So Zach Zenner might be the guy that they run a lot. Zach Zenner might not gain a yard.
Well, I would hope not, but you never know. This could be the type of game where we're like, who the fuck is Zach Zenner? Why the hell is he just –
Why the hell is he scoring 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, that's, could be one of those Eagles games. But, I don't think it will be with the way that this defense is built. So, I think we should definitely be able to control their ground game. I mean, all season long, we've really done a decent job against the opposing team's running back. So I don't think it'll be any different this week. And like you were saying, I think the Lions are just really – they're going to rely on Stafford big time. They're going to be passing a lot because I have a feeling that they're going to get down early and they're really not going to be able to run the ball that much, and they're going to have to rely on their passing game.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because the Eagles are – I believe they are 23rd 4.3 yards allowed per carry, but they're only allowing 71 yards per game on the ground. That's third out of 32, and like you just said, it's because they're playing with a lead, and teams have to play from behind, and when you play from behind, you obviously have to throw the ball a lot. So, that's the only little nitpick I have with the defense is they haven't really been like exceptionally stout against the run. Teams have been able to run the ball in between the 20s on them.
Yeah, no, they definitely have. And, really with our defense too, we've kind of seen that they've maybe taken off a quarter or two here in a game. So it would be nice for them to, really put together a full game like they did against the Steelers 2 weeks ago. And, if they can do that against the Lions, it should be a rout. But I think they could probably afford to take off a quarter or two in this game if they wanted to, because it should be a rout no matter what.
See, like, I got it's not going to be a rout.
Yeah, I know.
I got a feeling that we're going to have to pull some shit out of our ass in the fourth quarter or something.
If Carson wasn't the quarterback, I would definitely be with you. But I think with Carson being our quarterback, I think it just really kind of changes how we usually look at things as Eagles fans.
Well, that's instead of losing, we win. Yes. So
yeah.
So what's your pick on this game? You seem like you're very confident. Seems like you think we're going to win by like 4 touchdowns.
I think that this week isn't a challenge. Wow. We kind of talked about this before. I think it's the next week where it's a challenge for us. My prediction for this game, I'm going to go like 30-13. I think we win pretty good in this one. I'm not really too worried about it. So I think that we dominate.
Okay. All right. I've got 24-17 Philly. I believe the line opening up was – I believe the Eagles were only favored by a point. And now I think it's like 3.5.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen is Eagles will get up to maybe 10, 14-point lead, and the Lions fans will be leaving the stadium early. So it'll be all Eagles fans left in the stadium. And boy, is that great.
Oh, man. So, we'll see what happens Sunday. Whenever these two teams get together, though, it seems like shenanigans always ensue. Whether there's snow and LaShawn McCoy is dashing through the snow, whether or not Kevin Curtis is catching like a million passes for 250 yards and the Eagles score 56 points, or whether it's a wild card game in the 1990s where the Eagles put up a bunch of points as well. So always some weird kind of shit going on between these two teams.
No, you're exactly right. It's definitely always something crazy going on in these games. So our predictions might mean nothing because something wild could happen in this game, and so we'll see. Who knows? These wild games. Maybe this is the game where Josh Huff decides to show up and have like 3 touchdowns. Nope. Have a career game, and it'll be like Kevin Curtis, and then that'll be it.
Not possible.
No, I know it's never possible. I'm at the point the way that DGB is playing. I don't even care about Huff. Just don't even play him.
I'm not going to disagree with you. The Hufflepuff.
It's like even the Steelers game, they try to like get him going with these like wide receiver screens, and it never works.
Yeah. All right. Before we end, I do want to bring up Nigel Bradham and Jim Schwartz today. Yo. So, obviously, Sunday, Jim Schwartz, he's returning to Detroit. So, obviously used to be the head coach there. But, so Bradham, obviously, you guys all know about, his shenanigans. And let me pull up the quote here because he called him a dumbass, and it was awesome. So, if you do dumbass things, pretty soon you're going to be labeled a dumbass. So, That's what Jim Schwartz, that came out of his mouth today regarding Nigel Bradham.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love Schwartz. He's just so brutally honest, and not really quite sure what Bradham is thinking. I mean, we all remember a few months ago there was that incident where he was, beating up a pool attendant or something like that over an umbrella, just stupid things. And now this with him, trying to bring a loaded gun into an airport. So these are really not bright moves by Bradham. I mean, he's been doing pretty well on the field, but off the field, he needs some lessons.
All right. Once I stop coughing, I'll give you another quote. Sorry. All right. So this quote I love too. The worst thing I've ever forgotten at the airport, I think, has been a razor or a belt or something like that. I'm the guy in line that in a person of 5 people ahead, in a person 5 people ahead has a bottle of water in their luggage. I'm throwing my hands up like, seriously? Do you ever travel? Do you know that you can't take water in? This takes it to a different level.
Was that Schwartz too?
That was Jim Schwartz today. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
Oh, there's more. Let me see if I can find more. He's got a lot of ground to make up because it's not just him; it's just the rest of us also. It's everybody that wears that helmet, all the people in the organization. He represents not just himself; he represents everybody. He's got some ground to make up. That way, he's got to earn some trust back. So there you go, man. I mean, even Doug Peterson yesterday kind of slammed him a little bit. Doug's a little bit nicer than Jimmy, though.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where, Bradham, he's not reporting to Doug Peterson on this one. I think this is one of those things where, he immediately has to go to Schwartz's office to talk about this. And, well, I think the meeting was probably pretty simple. Schwartz probably held up his gun and says, look, you can't bring this into an airport. And, well,
dumbass.
Get dumbass. And then that was the end of the conversation. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, he learned from this incident. I mean, we don't need any more of this. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess another topic here is we're gonna have Lane Johnson again this week.
See, I almost forgot to talk about good shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is just getting out of hand at this point. I mean, we thought that we weren't even gonna have the guy to start the season, and now it's like every game, well, looks like Lane Johnson's going to be able to play again. So, but he finally had his, appeal, and they were, had the court date or whatever. So he had his hearing, and now I think, what is it? He hears back within like 7 days.
Yeah, he's going to hear back next week, and that's the reason why he can play Sunday, because it takes like 7 to 10 days or something. And obviously, his hearing was Tuesday, when was it? I forget already when it was. But basically, Sunday is before the time frame that the decision comes out, so he'll be able to suit up.
Yeah, he'll be able to play again. So, he'll probably get that 10-game suspension, and then he'll probably start with the Redskins game. But I mean, it was kind of unexpected for us to, be able to have him for this many games into the season to start out. What I'm worried about is the reports I'm seeing is that they're thinking about starting Big V at right tackle when Johnson's suspension kicks in. And after watching Big V in the preseason, scary thought, considering that Big V on one play against the Bucs was still in his stance on the line of scrimmage while the play was going on.
That play was hilarious. Like, the rusher literally got to Wentz, and he's still at his stance. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that he's doing that. I don't know, why they would do that. I kind of like the prospect of having Wisniewski play guard. You put Barber out at right tackle. I don't know why you want to fucking play Big V. Ew, he stinks.
Oh, it stinks. And he stinks. And
yeah. Big V.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, I guess we got to give him a chance, but I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, God. Man, there's so many dick jokes you can make. Smallwood running behind Johnson. He's also running behind Peters. I'll digress. All right. All right. Before we close, I did want to get your thoughts on the rest of the NFC East in general. Who is the Eagles' biggest threat, you think?
Well, I think that it's going to come down to injuries, but I mean, obviously, I think right now it's between the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah.
I would see for a little bit there. I thought that the Giants were going to be the team that the Eagles were going to be competing with, but I mean, the Giants just did not look good at all against the Vikings, and it seems like they've got some frustrating building up now with Odell Beckham. He seems to be having a lot of anger issues on the field, and he's acting like a big crybaby out there.
He's bored. He's
so I mean, I'm gonna
fucking buckwheat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Cowboys at this point, just the way because of how Prescott is playing. He's playing better than Eli Manning. So I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Cowboys because here's the thing about them. It's, on paper, it looks like they have an atrocious defense, but Marinelli always seems to get the most out of them. So that defense will be like a little bit below average instead of like the worst in the league. And obviously, offensively, Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant, that offensive line, whether it's Dak Prescott or Tony Romo, it doesn't matter. They both look pretty good. And that's the question to ask, too, is like, do you go back to Romo? Say the Cowboys are like 5-1, 6-1, some crazy shit like that. Can you go to Romo? I that's an interesting question to me because
they will.
Like, I was just gonna say,
they'll be idiots. They're gonna go back to Romo. They're gonna go back to Romo. That's just what they do, and then he's gonna get knocked out again.
That's what I think. Yeah, he's gonna get hurt again. He can't. He's done, man. I think he's fucking done in the NFL.
Yeah, Romo's an idiot for coming back and trying to play. One more shot to his back, and then the ironic thing is I saw this report a few days ago, that they're actually the Cowboys are maybe targeting the first matchup against us. I think it's like week 8 or something. Or week 9 to be Romo's return.
Yeah.
If they did that, well, that would probably be the dumbest thing in the world. I don't think that they want Romo taking a shot from Fletcher Cox or Benny Logan. But yeah, I really think that at this point, the Cowboys will be smart just to ride what they have going with Prescott. You really don't want to slow down the momentum that he has, any mojo that he's got going on, because that could really maybe mess with his mindset.
Yeah.
He's really in the right mindset now. So I think it would really be dumb for the Cowboys to bench Prescott in favor of Romo at this point.
Yeah. I'm with you. Again, like I said, I see Romo coming back and just getting hurt again. And Prescott, I mean, he looks good out there. I mean, he's very conservative, which is fine, which is what we saw out of Russell Wilson in year 1 too. So he's making the right decisions. Ezekiel Elliott looks good. Offensive line is beastly, and you got Dez and Cole Beasley is like so underrated. People don't realize how good he is. I remember having arguments with people when we got DGB, and I said like, "Yo, Cole Beasley's better than him," and people laughed at me. And I mean, DGB has more raw talent, but Cole Beasley is such like a threat on third down and just working underneath, and he's having a big year so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that Cole Beasley is definitely the better receiver. If you're talking about like playmaking ability, I think maybe DGB has more of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like talent as a wide receiver, definitely Beasley. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to him when we have to play them because he gave us fits last year. So
Quick, shifty receivers. That's what
yeah,
we're going against. So, we'll see what happens on Sunday. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out?
well, I'm just looking forward to watching Carson Wentz play again. Really, it was quite depressing during the bye week not getting to watch Carson Wentz. I mean, we were spoiled the first 3 weeks of the season watching this guy go out and play every week, and I mean, at this point, it's just like it's really a masterpiece that this guy is creating, and we just got to enjoy every moment that we can right now. Just enjoy the Carson Wentz ride because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my top tab for a while when I open up a new tab in my little Google Chrome, the top tab was always tubebait.com. Now I don't need that shit no more. I got Carson.
Carson City.
There it is. That's my final thought. Yeah, Carson does the job in so many different ways. There it is. For Mike Owens, I'm Adrian Fedke. We're out of here. And let us know in the comment section below. Are the Eagles going to rout the Lions like most people expect, like Mike expects? Or do you think it will be a little closer like I believe it will be? So we shall see. Should be, fun game, obviously. Eagles back in action, so can't wait. Wentz, another chapter to his awesome rookie year so far. Can't wait. We're out. Later.
Later.